About a week ago, I was starting to freak out. When it was looking for a minute there, like it might not be working out with Mickey. That really scared me because even though I don't know what to expect with him, I know he's going to bring something. And the last thing I want is it to be boring and predictable. And I know that even though I don't know the guy and it's going to be interesting working with him, I know he's going to bring something really cool and inspired. And I'd rather manage that than try to inspire somebody who's coming in just to please.
Mickey he's just a sweet and smart actor. John felt this strong connection to the idea of Mickey being brought into the loop.
I think it's really good because everybody's in sync together. You know, Robert is going to bring his thing to the table, and, you know, I bring whatever I'm feeling that day.
I think probably the most intense, legitimate, real process-driven days were the days where John and Mickey were working very closely on kind of building up his backstory.
This is what you've been working on your own in Russia. And the big thing, which is just a circle right now, is the piece of tech that fits in here that actually Russell Bobbitt, the prop guy,
I think he's bringing the real one.
Oh, is he?
And we're going to install it so you can see it lit.
Ryan had designed, he gave us the designs for Whiplash, approved by John. We wanted to kind of give it a much rawer, grittier feel to it. Bruce Mitchell, who's doing some fabrication work, he just took that and he just ran with leather, does great leather work. We will have little parts that will be moving on the back that are radio controlled, and with a little spine piece that moves. So we may have about 4 or 5 servos, on the back side of the suit. This is the original mock-up for Whiplash that we put together. It's all kind of out of foam parts, but we did this so we could just get the initial feel of how he's going to move. You can see here we have spandex or flexible parts through here. It's just an idea to conceptually get a working suit down before we moved into the leather.
These things back here will be this color.
Yeah, well, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what the Iron Man suit's made of.
When Bruce gets here, this is great.
Should I put this thing on?
Yes, you'll sign on?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sitting here now before we've even filmed a day of him in this suit. And I think you have to include the actors because they're the guys that bring the stuff to life. Because the more interactive and the more they feel that they belong to that thing, the better.
I didn't really want to be in a whole full suit. That was part of the appeal to me, that it was just that, it was skin and leather and whatever these things are made out of. They built a great suit that weighs 38 pounds, not including the arms. So what I did is I worked with my trainer for about 7 weeks with a 40-pound vest on a treadmill for like 40 minutes. So I wouldn't get exhausted every time I put the suit on. Because the first time I put the suit on, I said, man, this ain't going to cut it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
Insane. What am I going to do this?
That's why I here check the mirror.
Wow. How mad would they be if I Twitter this?
That was the first time that John had seen what we were building. The first time we met Mickey, the first time Mickey had the thing on. So it's like you're jumping right into the frying pan.
A lot of times the problem with these things is once you layer it on, it starts to engulf the body.
Plus, you don't want this stuff rubbing your tattoos off too if it transfers.
Well, they did a lot of prepping on this movie, and I think they were really good on their preparation and their research, and it makes your job easier because if you ask a question, they can answer your question and give you an adjustment. It just all flows easier when the director has done his homework.
Maybe a little bit lower on the thing.
Yeah, it feels like it wants to be.
It feels like it's going up a little.
Yeah.
Angle forward and be about right there. Obviously, when you throw Mickey Rourke's name around, you kind of, the designers, the whole team sort of senses something a little bit different. It brings in a unique approach. But we're still early on that one, and I think it's going to be fantastic, but I think that we've got a long ways to go.
This time around, we get to unveil the gun-riddled version of Iron Man that is War Machine.
The War Machine, the design is awesome. It is absolutely fantastic.
We developed a style for the suits in the first film. We wanted to continue that. And as the War Machine is built on the base of the Mark II, that was our starting point.
The design of the suits works. We work hand in hand with Ryan Meinerding. It's really like John works for months with his camp on looks, then we kind of work with them on fusing those together.
How bulky we could get, how many weapons we could fit on it and still have it look like a guy could walk around in it, like he would have the mobility that an Iron Man character needs. Those were the challenges. But when you have legacy effects bringing this to life for us, it's a huge pleasure to see it come together.
The thing about a studio like ours, whether it's Stan Winston's studio then or Legacy Effects now, it's a core group of absolute comic book, I hate to use the word, let's call them fans.
Shane will sit down and just break everything down. Once they have approved drawings and designs of what they want, then we build a 3D model in the computer. Once they approve the 3D model, then we will grow a maquette so they can see it in full form. Because sometimes, when you see it in the computer, it's, it just isn't quite there until you can see it in that true 3 dimension, standing in front of you.
The main difference, I think, and hopefully, the fans aren't upset about this one, is we don't have the exposed missile pod at all times. That was one of the things that the Marvel guys definitely wanted to try and work in. But the fact of having like 2 big things on either side of a head makes, shooting him a little bit difficult.
This is going to be a problem, or just something that we have to work out, is the fact that these large bullet case missile cases are right there. You a little bit more room, but you're gonna probably pitch your body a little bit. Yeah. The only solution is to take this plane and kind of jockey it out a little bit.
We found ways of trying to actually work. This isn't the final design for this, but the missile pod actually, there's a missile pod in each one of these shoulder straps.
What we're doing behind me here is putting together the Mark II autopsy scene for Edwards Air Force Base. It shoots in about a week and a half or 2 weeks. From our molds from the original show, we've recast pieces and had them all, this is all nickel plating, real metal nickel plating. We mocked this up at first, and John went through and decided what areas he'd really like to see broken apart that would work for the story in his mind. But you can see down in here, we'd never really seen the inside of the Mark II. So we're recreating it for the scenes. We were fashioning the interior. He'll pull this chest piece off. We added lead into this chest piece to give it some more weight because these are just all fiberglass parts. The suit that we're going to do for Dawn is a lot of the same components, but we'll mostly just use the upper part of it.
This time around, the stipulation from the director, take what we learned, modify it, make it better.
They made the suits a lot more lightweight. They were much quicker to go on and off. Made them out of more forgiving materials, and we even had lighter stunt suits.
They're going to do mostly motion capture for the legs. They found in the first film it was much more difficult for them to get the movement they really wanted, and it just took more time. They'll be able to speed it up a little bit more this time around.
They made them lighter and better, more articulated, and ultimately making it look even cooler.
It's cumbersome, but I think it helps for us to actually feel what we would feel in those pieces. It lets you feel a bit more of what the real dynamic would be inside something like that. Though I guess, it would be more ergodynamically designed per Tony's instructions, but it still gives you a feeling that would be different than if you're just in the Lycra suit and you have some balls and tape around your arms. It's hard to really feel the volume that suit has. I was feeling the 45 pounds as well. So it's cool to get in that, and then it's really cool to get out of it. That's actually the best part of putting it on, is that you'll get to take it off.
We're doing our camera test now for costumes and makeup. I'm looking at Scarlet for the first time with her new hairdo.
I mean, when you think about what it would normally look like, I'd probably be wearing like some horrible policewoman bun. So the fact is, we might as well make it look as good as we want, because it doesn't make any difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a comic book, and
plus when you're doing all the flips and things with the hair going, it's probably gonna be great. And then you could have those great moments where you sort of whip your exactly. You whip your hair back.
Well, I saw the final costume when we were doing wardrobe tests, and I was like, oh my God, this is just not fair.
And Mary Joffrey is costuming her.
Once it became Scarlet, it became clear that, because I've also worked with Scarlet twice before, it's starting to get a plungier neckline, but it goes plungier later, so it's like a step in between.
I get it. Good. great.
Good. When I look at, I know, like just watching her in other movies, I know you can tell what kind of figure she has, and I can tell what's going to look good on her.
What's cool too is like you're still gonna be stuck to him because he's your attached.
Oh.
So we're gonna have this conversation and then pop in on you like, hey, I'm still here.
Okay.
You know, and he's gonna be taking off the thing. Yeah, it's just gonna force awkwardness, which is
Great.
I'm a fan of. Yeah, you look great. Really like figuring out who these characters are. And I haven't seen her Black Widow look yet. I've seen some drawings, but that's when we really know. And she's really getting into shape because she's been training and taking it really seriously. I've seen the tests that she's been doing, jumping off the cranes and doing the wire work and learning the combat. She looks pretty steady, and she's pretty brave and pretty committed, so that's good. It's the first time I'm seeing her as somebody who could be a, you know, like somebody who could be the star of a comic book movie.
3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, like that. I was totally out of my element when it came to the physical part of this work, and for me, I've always, you know, I think I was excited to do something that was going to be a challenge for me, and you know, I'm fortunate enough that I'm young and able, and you know, I was certainly more than willing to be a part of the action, so to speak.
She had a really good time doing it. Unlike some of us older curmudgeons, there's very little you can do to get under her skin. She's just consummately professional.
You always choreograph according to what best fits the actor's attributes. You always try to accentuate, you know, what they do best. But at the same time, you want to create a style that fits specifically for, you know, the character you're doing in the movie.
That's it.
The great thing about Jonathan is he always shoots everything and cuts it together.
We will edit it ourselves. We'll put in some After Effects to really show what it's going to look like in the end process. And we edit it per the storyboards, and then we present that to John.
Better.
These moves do exist because it was based off like a flying head scissors or, you know, scissors throws and stuff like that. But when we're doing it for film, you know, depending on what it is, we kind of accentuate, you know, the throws a little bit.
When you see those action movies and, you know, it's like the back of somebody's head, and then all of a sudden they give that one pose at the end, and you're like, that was not, that was the lamest thing. You know, you want to see the actor risking their life, you know. 2, 1, go. Sorry. Okay. The wire work didn't really bother me too much, you know. I mean, the thing that's kind of strange about it is you have this tension pulling you in a completely different direction than where you want to go, and you're constantly fighting that. Let me see, so...
Yeah, just like that. That's good.
Ready? Okay. Stand by, and 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh,
Nice.
there you go. That's good.
Scarlet hadn't really done an action role, and she assured me that she would work as hard as she needed to both get in shape and do her stunts and learn all of that stuff. And she spent hours and hours and hours for months. By far the most dedicated actor when it came to the stunt work and the physical work.
Yeah, superhero pose.
Okay.
We're working on the Natasha
Superhero pose?
badass super pose.
Love that.
I've done a lot of films in my career and worked with a lot of great actresses, and a lot of them put in a lot of great effort, but I got to tell you what, the effort that she put forth here is, I mean, second to none. She really put her heart into this one and really has worked hard, and it shows. Let's do one more, and then we'll move on to some other stuff.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and bring her out.
It was so easy for me to be a part of that crew. I've never been so close with a stunt team before, and really they were like my little cheerleaders the whole time, and totally supported me through all of it. So I got very, very lucky working with Tom and his whole crew. And it was fun for me. You know, it's fun because you challenge yourself, and, you know, I'm competitive by nature. So for me, it's like I want to win. I want to be able to see my face on that screen and sell it to the audience, you know.